Oh, now we're recording. Okay, number 14. This is on 9-7. And then we'll do a little bit of notes today, maybe-ish. We'll see. There is a picture that goes with number 14, so I skip right to the last sentence. Yeah? Find the distance that the sailboat is from Tower A, which they labeled D. We can call it X if we want to. We don't care. I start with my two sides. So I have this side. We'll call it X and 100. Very nice.
Can we please have all grades of Breakfast Book Club to the gym? All grades of Breakfast Book Club, please go to the gym.
Breakfast Book Club. Okay. All right, those are my two sides. If we go angles opposite, so if I'm looking at X here, angle opposite is 31 degrees. I have to use him. If I have 100, I have to use the angle opposite 100, which is, I don't know how big. 180 minus those two. 180 minus 99. 81 degrees. Okay, let's set it up. Sine of something over something equals sine of something over something. What would you like to do?
Sine over D.
Sine of 31 over D equals sine of 81 over 100.
Yeah.
Okay, cross multiply. So I'm going to multiply these guys, and I'm going to divide by this guy.
I got 52.1.
52.1.
Yeah.
That sounds
Hard to do it.
maybe-ish right, yes.
I just didn't remember doing it, so I didn't know if I
Yep.
did it right.
Yep. Yep. Right. Yep. Yep. Okay, anything else? Nothing? Nada? Wonderful. Okay, I will take those, make me a pile, would you please? We're going to do like maybe two-ish, three-ish examples today.
Wait, don't we have to do... Oh, no.
Law of cosines. Law of cosines today. And we're doing half of the law of cosines today. Okay? Half of the law of cosines. Okay? Page, I don't know what page, 557. Law of cosines. Okay. All right. Here we go. In the middle of the page, for the law of cosines, there's this little blip of area to right. Draw that. That's 80 degrees, by the way. Draw this little diagram. 80 degrees, X, 10, 17. There you go. Draw him off to the corner. This is a law of sines problem, by the way, but I want to do him before we do the law of cosines real quick. Okay, so draw him off to the corner somewhere on your paper. And you need your calculator. There they all go. Gosh dang it.
I've been at the same table
I filled up.
I bet you're not guessing.
for the past few times.
I bet you're not guessing.
Like
I don't see it.
Brian.
Carson, if you get to a stopping point,
I would. Well,
if you get to a stopping point
I hate talking to you.
and you want to go for a walk,
I hate
will you walk down to the teacher's lounge and grab my coffee cup off of the counter that's in there? It's like just a straight, tall thing about this tall, and it's like a pinkish purple. No handle. Perfect. Okay, all right, did you get this all written down? This is the law of sines. All right, let's set this guy up like we would normally, and let's see what we're solving for. Normally, we're solving for a side, so like X would be here, and we're solving for that. But we're going to set this up the same way, and we're just going to solve it different. I'm giving you this problem because this is a little bit harder than what we were doing on Friday. So here we go. 10 and 17, okay? If I use 17, I have to use 80. If I use 10, I have to use X degrees. So we're going to set this up as sine of something. Sine of, no.
No, X.
Sine of X, X is the angle, over 10 equals sine of 80 over 17. Okay, do you see how we set that up?
18.
Good, good?
Like that.
Okay, so yeah?
17.
here we go. We're going to cross multiply. The things I'm going to multiply are these two because I know everything about them. I'm going to cross multiply and I'm going to divide by 17. So 10 sine of 80, that whole thing divided by 17.
0.58.
0.58. Okay? And normally at this point we would be done. We cross multiply, we divide. But the problem is that's not equal to X. That is equal to
Sine.
sine of X. Yeah?
So divide
So, how do I get rid of the sign if the sign is on there?
Inverse sign.
I'm going to do the inverse sign. So whatever that sign is, or whatever that 0.58, do the inverse sign of that and tell me what you get.
35.5.
35.5 degrees. There we go. That is going to be your angle, 35.5 degrees. Got it? Okay, so you can use the law of sines to find an angle also, not just a side. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you.
Did you record the first part of these?
Oh, this is the first part. We went over one example, or what we went over one homework problem, and I recorded that. Okay. So let me just, if you're walking in right now, let me just backtrack, and I'll show you what we did. Okay. So this is an added example that I put on the page right here. Law of cosines. I put him right here in the corner. Okay. And here's what we did. Normally, x is one of the sides that you're solving for. Here, the x is the angle. We can do the same thing again. We would do sine of x over 10 and sine of 80 over 17. And here what we're doing is solving for x. Okay? So, we still cross multiply and divide. So I cross multiply these guys. I divide by 17. But the only difference is that's not my answer. After I cross multiply divide, that's what sine of x is. And then I have to do the inverse sign to get them out. Okay? So that is how I solve for x. Okay? So if you're just walking in, there is that problem. I just made that one up. Okay? But it's the same way with when you're doing like SOHCAHTOA. If you're solving for an angle, you have to use inverse sine or cosine or tangent. Same thing. Okay? All right. Let's talk real quick while we're on this one. The law of sines. The law of sines. What information do I need when I'm doing the law of sines?
Angles and sides.
How many angles and how many sides?
2 angles, 2 sides.
2 angles and 2 sides. Now, one of those 4 things I'm solving for, right? I'm either solving for an angle or I'm solving for a side. But the law of sines, are you listening? 2 angles, 2 sides. Law of sines. Now, we're going to switch it. The law of cosines. When you know you're doing the law of cosines is when you have 3 sides and only 1 angle. That's when you do the law of
Can I please have
cosines.
Studio B to the gym?
Studio B to the gym.
For
What's that?
pictures.
That's Fab Lab.
Also, junior high track. Junior high track, you need to be in jeans and jerseys.
That's
I
next.
don't know.
I'm not right my
Okay. You guys go and we will. I don't know.
I say
Oh,
we
but
just
you have to go
pause.
take a picture with
I
them.
don't need to take a picture with them.
Uh-huh.
No, I don't.
Uh-huh.
Baloney.
What's our homework?
You guys didn't have your stuff. Homework is.
It's really good.
Boop, 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 boop,
Oh, is this the end of the chapter?
1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7.
No, that
We're gonna do
means-
number 3 together. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. So 1, 2, 5, 6, 7.
When do we have the test? This week?
So 1 through 7, skip 4.
Sure.
Is the end of the chapter test
And
this
then
week?
here's my homework from.
Possibly. No. It won't be till like Monday or Tuesday of next week.
We do Tuesday.
Is this for the whole lesson?
No, because we're gonna do half of it tomorrow.
Okay.
Yet.
Ew.
Okay, you want me to teach you and then I'll teach them when they come back?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, here we go. We'll go through this really fast because there's not very many of you. All right, so here we go. 3 sides, 1 angle. All right, they give you 3 equations for this. I'm going to cross off the first 2 and I'm going to circle the last one. Okay, because they all are the same 3 equations. Okay, they're just putting stuff in different places. All right, now, there is familiar stuff that shows up here, like c squared equals a squared plus b squared. That's Pythagorean theorem, right? A squared plus b squared equals c squared. But then they have minus 2ab cosine of c. So, I told you 3 sides, 1 angle. Which variable in here is the angle? Capital C right here. This is where the angle goes. And then the other guys go in here. A, B, and C all go in there. So that's the angle. All the other sides go there. All right, now, it does not matter what A, B, and C are, just as long as if capital C is your angle, then lowercase c has to be the side that is opposite capital C, right? Okay, so going down here to this example, this is what I have. I'm going to write the formula down over here. We've got c squared equals a squared plus b squared. That's the start of the law of cosines. Then minus 2AB cosine of capital C. That's the formula that I'm going to use. Okay, which angle is capital C?
So 40,
44. So I'm going to put cosine of 44. I'm just going to start plopping stuff in. All right, if 44 is capital C, what is lowercase c? X, because it has to be the one opposite the angle that I'm given, okay? Then what do you want A to be?
Does it matter?
It does not matter. Technically in this, A would be 0.9 because it's opposite little a, but it does not matter if you switch those two around. So 0.9 squared plus 2.9 squared minus 2 times 0.9 times 2.9. And you should just be able to, that's a square, x squared. You should just be able to type this whole thing in at one shot all into your calculator.
The
Okay.
square root of that, right?
Yes, and then you'll take the square root.
Try putting it all in. See.
Try putting it all in. I think you should get like 5.46 or something if you put it all in.
Yeah, 5.47.
5.47, okay. And then that's what x squared is, so you gotta take the square root.
2.34.
2.34 is what he should be.
Okay, hold up. I'm
Okay,
still
okay, that's fine. I'll pause. Practice typing it in, see if you get it. And if you need to do it in pieces, you sure can. But this one, you should just be able to like type it in all at one shot.
Okay, yeah, I got 5.47.
Perfect. And then the square root of that is 2.34. Okay, don't forget to take the square root. Okay. We were doing another example and Chloe goes, holy cow, that's a huge number. I said, you didn't take the square root yet. So remember to do that. Okay. All right, now they're going to jump right into a hard one. Ready? They have us doing one of these.
Can I please have junior high and high school FBLA?
Ugh.
Junior high and high school FBLA.
Anybody in here FBLA?
No.
No? Cool. Okay.
FFA all the way.
FFA all the way. That even
No.
rhymes. All right. Okay. All right. So here we go. Here's my formula. C squared equals a squared plus b squared minus 2ab cosine of c. Okay. I don't care what a and b are, but get your c's in the right spot. So what is capital C in this case? This is the tricky one. This is a hard one. What's capital C going to
Put
be?
it-
L,
N.
N,
Wait,
No.
N, M, E,
What are you talking about?
E,
Because it has C.
And-
But what do we put in for capital C?
E.
X.
Oh.
X is the angle,
Yeah,
right?
that's right.
So I'm going to put X right here. Okay, if capital C is that guy, what's lowercase c going to be?
9.
9. He's got to go here. All right, so I've got 9 squared. 9 squared equals, what do you want A to be?
5.
And then have B be 11.
5?
Wait.
5 squared plus 11 squared minus 2 times 5 times 11 cosine of X. Okay, guess what? What are we going to have to do to solve this thing?
Inverse.
We will eventually have to inverse cosine because X is trapped inside of the cosine. So I'm going to have to inverse cosine. Now, be very careful because a lot of people do this wrong and I'm going to show you what they do wrong. Let's go ahead and let's figure out what some of this stuff is. So 9 squared is how much? 81. All right, 5 squared is 25. 11 squared is 121. Okay, do you know what 2 times 5 times 11 is? 2 times 5? 110. 2 times 5 is 10. 10 times 11 is 110. Okay, here is what people do wrong all the time. Are you ready? Are you listening? This is huge. This is hugely important. Hold on, you're going to do it wrong right now.
No.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are.
Inverse
100%.
cosine 81, no.
No,
Oh.
no, 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 nope.
I
Wrong.
didn't type it in there.
Wrong. And it's going to give you a domain error if you do inverse cosine of 81. All right, here we go. Ready? Are you guys all watching? You got to move everything over. But the problem is 25 plus 121 minus 110, people will combine those three pieces.
But the 1 times 5.
But the 110 is connected to cosine. So you can combine these two, but do not connect the other one, right? So I've got 81 equals, what's 25 plus 121?
146.
146 minus 110 cosine of X. All right, we've got to get cosine by itself. I've got to get this part by itself first. What are you going to move?
146.
Minus 146. Minus 146. 81 minus 146 is going to be negative, and that's totally fine.
65.
Negative 65 equals negative 110 cosine of X. Then what?
And divide by 110.
Divide by negative 110. Okay. And that's going to be a positive number, so 65 and 110. Cosine of X is 0.59.
59.
Okay, now what? Now I do the inverse cosine. Okay? So this one is a very, very much of a pain in the butt because you have to unwind and solve for x. Ugh, that's disgusting. Inverse cosine at 0.59.
53.8.
53.8. I think most questions are going to say round to the nearest whole number. So 54 degrees is what he would be. Does that seem reasonable that that would be 54 degrees for x? Yeah, I believe it. Okay, good? Whew, what a mess. Okay, let's do another one. Example 3.
Just the last one.
Last one, and then we'll do number 3 together in your homework. All right, so if you are just joining, this is a good place to join in because we're doing all of these all over again. Here we go. Law of cosines. 3 sides, 1 angle, right? 3 sides, 1 angle for the law of cosines. All right. They give us a triangle here, but they don't have stuff labeled, so I've got to actually read the paragraph. Here we go. This person is golfing and uses a distance measuring tool to measure that the tee box from where he is standing. Where is he standing, by the way?
32.
At the 32 degree, right? You're probably standing here, like way far away from where the hole is. Yeah. So that's my person. And the distance from where he's standing to the hole is 378. So which side of this triangle is 378? The right side is 378. So mark him. Okay. To avoid a water hazard, instead of going straight over the water, do you see how this works? He's going to go this way instead and land the ball here, and then he's going to use another stroke to go to the hole. Yeah?
Beginner.
Okay.
Not a real,
Beginner,
that's not a real golfer.
No, not a real golfer. You just
beginner
go.
mistake.
Okay.
Beginner mistake.
All right.
I hit a ball in the water.
Right into the water.
Exactly.
And then
Exactly.
you just go get it 'cause it's
Sure.
hot outside,
Right.
and it's, you just go get it.
You know
Right.
what he would
Yeah,
do?
but then you lose 2
I
strokes
drive the
instead of just
You know
1.
what he would do?
Uh-huh. Okay, so they are going to hit it to this spot, which is 261.5 yards up the fairway. So which side of the triangle is 261.5? Which side of the triangle is 261.5? This guy, 261.5. Yep, he's going to hit it that far, up the top. Complete the diagram with the correct values. Find the distance between where his ball lands and the hole. Right? So after his first shot, find the distance between where his ball lands and the hole. So what are we trying to find?
That one.
X right there. That's the X. Okay. All right. Law of cosines is C squared equals A squared plus B squared. It's like the Pythagorean theorem. Minus 2
Big number.
A B cosine of capital C. Okay. We only have one angle involved. Which is the angle? 32. And that goes in right here. This is 32. Okay. Now, if that's 32, what does little c have to be? X. Because those two have to be opposites from one another. If this is my angle, then the side opposite has to be little c. Okay. All right. So I've got x squared equals, what's little a? Which one do you want little a to be? It doesn't matter. 261.5? I don't care. 261.5 squared plus, is it 378 squared minus 2 times 261.5 times 378 cosine of 32. You should be able to enter this all in at one shot. And you get a big, huge number. Do you have it before you take square root? You just did the square root immediately. Did you just square root of that all that
I
junk
just
underneath?
do square root and then
Of the whole junk? Yeah, that's fine. Yep, if you want to do that and you want to take the square root and just square root and all of that stuff goes underneath of there, that's totally fine.
I got it before the square root.
Okay, what'd you get?
43,612.
Okay, and then after you take the square root is,
208.8, but it says round to the nearest yards.
okay, so 209 yards is how far they're going to have to hit it the second shot, right? Okay? So, law of sines, 2 sides, 2 angles. Law of cosines, 3 sides, 1 angle. Got it? Okay. Let's do homework problem number 3. And we'll do the rest. Don't cross off any of those other examples because we'll do those tomorrow. But we're going to do, so homework is this, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. And we're going to do number 3 together. Okay? Out of 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, out of those top 6, which ones are the easy problems?
1, 2,
1 and 2. Which ones are the hard ones?
6, and 5.
5 and 6, because you have to solve for an angle. All right, so let's do number 3. 3 is a hard problem. We've got c squared equals a squared plus b squared minus 2ab cosine of capital C. All right, what do we put in for capital C? X. X is going to be my capital C. What's lowercase c have to be then? 22. All right, what do you want a to be? Doesn't matter. 16 or 20? 16 squared?
Can we please have mentoring works to the gym for pictures? Mentoring works, please go to the gym for pictures.
Nobody in here mentoring works? Okay, it doesn't matter what A and B are. 16 and 20. Okay, but X has to be your angle and 22 has to be your one that's opposite him. Okay, so let's start to like do this stuff. 22 squared is 484. 16 squared is 256. Do you know what 20 squared is? 400. Do you know what 2 times 16 times 20 is? 2 times 20 is 40. Do you know what 40 times 16 is? 640.
Wait, no.
Yes. 16 times 4 is 64. So 640. Cosine of x.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah? Okay, what am I allowed to add together?
256.
256 and 400. I cannot add the 640 together because it's attached to the cosine. So I'm going to put these two together. That is 656. Okay, then what?
Subtract that over.
Okay, I'm going to subtract it over. Minus 656. Minus 656. 484 minus 656 is a negative number. I don't know what it is.
Minus 172.
Negative 172 equals, what's it equal to now?
-6.
Negative 640 cosine of x. Okay, now what?
Divided by -6.
Divided by negative 640. Okay, cosine of x is equal to whatever that is divided. A decimal, 0 point something.
Oh, 0.26875.
We'll go 269. And then we do
Inverse.
inverse cosine. This is the pain in the butt part. X equals inverse cosine of that junk, which is, I don't know, something. 74.4, so 74 degrees, because they want us to round to the nearest degree measure. Okay? So, solving for angles, huge pain in the rear. Solving for sides, like 1 and 2, very nice. Okay? But it's the same process all the time.
Skip 4.
Okay? So 1 through 7, skip number 4. We did number 3 together. Good? Okay. All right. I'm going to stop.